All right, today we are diving into a kind of survival guide, for anyone who's ever felt like they're just not quite good enough. We're going to talk about how to stop trying to fix every little flaw and instead start turning them into your most awesome features.
This quote really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. See, we all have this little, let's call him a foreman, living inside our heads, right? He's a total perfectionist, and he's always on the job, pointing out every crack, every mistake, everything that isn't absolutely perfect. But here's the thing. What if those cracks aren't actually problems we need to solve?
I mean, think about it. We're kind of taught that happiness is on the other side of self-improvement, right? Just fix that one last thing, and then you'll be happy. But it's this endless, totally exhausting game of whack-a-mole. So today, we are exploring a totally different path. What happens when we stop trying to spackle over every little crack, and instead, we let some of that light in?
Okay, so let's get into it. Here is our survival toolkit for the next few minutes. We've got 5 really simple but super powerful methods to completely reframe how you see your own imperfections. Let's jump right in with the first one.
All right, method 1. First things first, we have got to deal with that noisy voice inside our heads. You know the one that's always got something negative to say.
Oh yeah, we all know this voice. It's that little running commentary that just pops up the second we make a mistake. You messed up again? Why are you so clumsy? It's relentless. And honestly, trying to argue with it, it's like trying to win a shouting match with a megaphone. You're just not going to win.
So instead of fighting it, here's the trick, and it's a good one. Give it a completely ridiculous name. I mean, think about it. It is so hard to take a critical voice seriously when you've named it the hangry hippo. The moment you do that, you create a little bit of space. You could just kind of go, oh, there goes the hangry hippo again. He probably just needs a snack. And hey, this isn't just some silly game. It's actually a proven psychological technique, and it's called cognitive diffusion. It's all about creating space between you and the negative thought. You are not your thoughts. And giving your inner critic a silly name, well, that's a fantastic first step to really getting that.
Okay, let's move on to our second tool. This one is all about becoming the director of your own life's comedy reel.
You know how at the end of a movie, sometimes the best part is the blooper reel, right? All those genuine, unscripted mess-ups? Well, this method is about creating one for your own life, seriously. Keep a note on your phone or in a little notebook just for your personal bloopers.
So instead of cringing for days about wearing your socks inside out on a date, you reframe it. Hey, it's a bold new fashion statement. And your stomach growling super loud in a silent meeting? It just had a really important point to make. See what happens? This shifts you from being the victim of embarrassment to being the amused observer of your own quirky life.
Method 3 asks us to become artists. And we're going to take some inspiration from this absolutely beautiful Japanese philosophy that literally finds beauty in broken things.
This is kintsugi. So in Japan, when a piece of pottery breaks, they don't throw it away, and they don't try to hide the cracks. Instead, artists mend it with lacquer mixed with powdered gold. The cracks, they become the most beautiful, most celebrated part of the piece, telling its unique story. And we can do the exact same thing with our own perceived flaws.
So, let's try it out. You think you're too sensitive? What if that's just the other side of having incredibly strong empathy? You think you work too slowly? Well, that probably just means you're detail-oriented and thorough. And having a terrible sense of direction? That just means you're an adventurer who finds all the hidden gems that others just walk right past. See? Your flaws aren't bugs. They're actually features.
All right, method 4. This one tackles that lonely feeling that you're the only one who's a total mess. And here's a spoiler alert. You are so not. The idea here is so simple but powerful. Get together with some people you really trust and host an awkwardness contest. Just share your quirks, your embarrassing stories, your personality bugs. The goal isn't to fix each other, it's just to prove that every single one of us behind our curated social media feeds is dealing with our own set of glitches.
One friend might admit, I still can't tell my left from my right even when my GPS is shouting at me. And suddenly your own little quirks feel way less isolating.
And then someone else might share, I'm 30 years old and I still cry my eyes out watching animated movies. And you just remember that, you know what? Vulnerability is actually a sign of a really rich inner life.
And then this one. I have to take 10 deep breaths before I can even walk into a party. And right there, in that moment, all the shame just evaporates. You realize we're all just part of this big club of beautifully flawed humans. And man, there is some incredible freedom in that.
Okay, our final method is maybe the most creative one of the bunch. It's this awesome imaginative exercise that lets you look at yourself without any of that usual judgment.
I want you to imagine you're a researcher, an alien scientist from a perfect planet, and you've been sent here to study this weird, chaotic, super emotional species called humans. Your primary subject is you. But your job isn't to judge, it's to observe with a completely detached scientific curiosity.
So your field notes might sound something like this. Scientist log. Subject 402 showed interesting sweet-seeking behavior as a stress response. Fascinating. This species is a precision-engineered mess, highly valuable for research. See? Instead of, I failed my diet again, it becomes this really interesting observation. This whole technique just takes the shame right out of the equation. You're not bad or broken, you're just a complex organism exhibiting fascinating behaviors worth studying.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? Well, chasing perfection, it's a full-time job. It completely drains your energy, and it leaves you feeling stuck. But embracing imperfection, that frees up all that wasted energy. And you can channel it into real growth, into curiosity, into a life that actually feels vibrant and alive.
And this is probably the most important point of all. Your worth is not conditional. It is not something you earn by becoming flawless. The version of you that exists right this second, with all the quirks, all the mistakes, and all those beautiful golden cracks, is already complete, already precious, already worthy.
So I'm just going to leave you with this question to chew on. What if all the energy you spend trying to become someone else was instead spent getting to know and maybe, just maybe, learning to love the person who's been here all along?